Yo, what is good, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Renegade Roundtable podcast. Here, I am Jeffrey Kirby. As always, each and every week, we are joined by Jarryd. Jarryd, how in the hell are you?
Exhausted, but we're here. 1 week away till our first NFL game.
10 days away till the Steelers play.
10 days till the Steelers
Probably
play.
9 from when you guys are seeing this. 10 from when. So, in that case, for you guys, we are 1 day closer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exciting for the fact that we finally get football back. We've been waiting for this since January, and we are officially back. Football is back. Next week, we get to do our first real deal preview show for that game. And good Lord, it will feel all kinds of right.
A lot of our questions will be answered, I should say, who's going to play and who's not going to play next week.
We've had other questions answered that has involved a topic that's been going on for quite some time, and that's gotten answered. But we'll worry about that here in a minute. Let's worry about so there has been, like you said, there's been a lot of things that has happened this week with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They officially named Russell Wilson their starting quarterback. Isaac Seumalo's hurt. We don't know how long he's going to be out for there. And then obviously, not too awfully long ago from when we're recording this, Brandon Aiyuk did officially sign with the San Francisco 49ers. So that saga is officially over. The Steelers will not be getting Brandon Aiyuk. But let's start off with the quarterback, the most important position. So they officially go with Russell Wilson. Now,
no surprise.
Exactly. I was going to say, to neither of our surprises, nor will I think that a lot of Steeler fans, this is no surprise.
No.
Yesterday, I was in a live stream in the comments with Jarryd Bailey, who covers the NFL, and we were talking, and I put in there, and he kind of agreed with this philosophy. Now, I know that there are people saying they will have wanted to see Justin Fields, and of course, we're going to see him. There's going to be a package. We're going to see him out on the field. What my thought process on this is, and it's very similar to what you typically see in the NFL. Justin Fields is not a rookie, obviously. But the way that this quarterback room is constructed, it feels like it is. It feels like Justin Fields is a rookie, where it's easier to go with the veteran and Russell Wilson than if you need to bench him to go to Justin Fields, then do flip-flop. Right? It's easier than going from Justin Fields and benching him than going to Russell Wilson. That's just not.
Yep.
I remember this specifically. It happened with Cleveland the year that they went 0-16 in 2017. They had Deshaun Kaiser as their week 1 starter, and then they benched him in the middle of the season for a veteran, and then they put him back. It messes with your psyche. You can't do that. And so it's like, for example, with New England, they went with Jacoby Brissett over Drake May. I think that was a smart move, unless there was a clear-cut dry that Drake May was clear as day better than Jacoby Brissett. You go with the veteran first. It's a lot easier to It's a lot easier to bench the veteran to go to the rookie or go to the young guy rather than vice versa. So to me, this is no surprise. To you, it's no surprise that they went with Russell Wilson. To me, it's the right choice.
Yep.
But now the bigger question becomes, how long is the leash?
Yep. And I don't think it's long at all. I don't think it's long at all.
Yeah, because if you're going to, because we got to remember, Mitch Trubisky, when it was in that situation, remember, and that's a perfect example too. You go with Mitch Trubisky, it's easier to bench him to go for the quarterback or for the rookie rather than vice versa. They gave him it was week 4? I believe it was, so 3.5 games Mitch Trubisky had before they pulled him and put Kenny in.
It was the second half and the fourth quarter. Third quarter, second half.
So if you're going to go based off of that, so say he does get 3.5 games, say that's the leash, that puts you at the Colts game. Because so how is that? These are questions that we need to know. Atlanta is with no shape or form a slouch team. There is a very if you said that right now, hey, like I am in the future in Atlanta beat Pittsburgh, I'm not shocked.
Nope.
If you said that Pittsburgh beat Atlanta, I'm not shocked.
It's a 50-50. Atlanta's not the same Atlanta team we faced a year or two ago that we played.
Will the fan base be there? Now the fan base, well, we all know how Steeler fans travel.
Atlanta, they'll be there 100%. I know they'll be there, especially with the cheap concessions. Oh, they'll definitely be there. They'll definitely be there.
But yeah, that it's going to be a hell of a game.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins, he's coming in.
He'll
be his first game back since he tore his Achilles. They got weapons. They got Bijan Robinson. They got Drake London. My apologies. They have Kyle Pitts. They have guys over there. So it's just and on the defensive side, how are they going to look? Obviously, TJ is going to be TJ. We're going to be excited to look at the linebacking core, obviously the whole secondary overall, blah, 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 in itself. But my question is going to be, how is the offense going to look? And obviously that's the bigger question, because are we getting, if we're basing off of the preseason, which we've learned, we need to learn, because I put this tweet out there earlier this week. I said the Steelers went 3-0 last year, and the offense looked great, and they turned out to be shitty. So if we're going to go with reverse psychology, all right, let's go 0-3, and the offense looks trash. And then week 1, they come out and they look great. Obviously, is that going to be the case? More than likely not. Mm-hmm. But we got to remember this also. Where did the offensive coordinator, where was his last job?
The Tennessee Titans.
Arthur, you mean Atlanta?
Atlanta was his last job. I thought you were talking about offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Arthur Smith's last job was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Who do the Steelers play week 1?
Atlanta.
Needless to say, you're not going to really put much out there on tape.
Nope.
So.
We saw that one drive in the last finale.
No.
They scored a touchdown, and so did Justin Fields. That's all you needed to see.
I really didn't get to see it because, shout out to work.
Yeah.
And, of course, every person and their mother wanted to show up right at that time.
Oh, you didn't miss much. They did their job first 2 drives. That's all that mattered.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm excited. I want to see what this offense is going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is going to tie into some other topics that we need to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start off with the saga that has ended with Brandon Aiyuk. Officially signed, what was it, a 4-year, $120 million. So that's what, $30 million a year.
$76 million guaranteed.
So there you go. So my initial thoughts to that are,
thank God. It's finally over.
Well, yes. My second thought is so the Steelers, it was apparently that there was a deal on the table. If the trade was going to happen, the deal was done. It was just a matter of then the contract stuff, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like my question is, did Brandon Aiyuk, did he act? Is this exactly what he wanted, and he got what he wanted finally?
He got $30 million a year. I saw the last report saying that the Niners had the same offer since August 10th. That's the same offer that came out. So 2 weeks.
So my question becomes: did Pittsburgh either pull out?
Mm-hmm.
Did they pull out and say, hey, we're not into this anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Was it John Lynch and company saying, listen, just sign the damn deal. You're not getting traded. We are not trading you, point blank, period. So you might as well go ahead and just sign this now. Or was I think that those are questions that we're never going to really know.
Yep.
Now, it was a little bit interesting that when earlier today or yesterday for the viewers, it was interesting that when Cleveland did their typical thing with Deshaun Watson, turn a bunch of money into signing bonus, they have like 60-some $million. And of course, the eyes start to or people's ears start to perk up and are like, wait a second. Could they be trying to get themselves back in the Brandon Aiyuk sweepstakes with the same way that they had gotten Deshaun Watson? And then obviously Shefty came out today and was like, listen, they offered more money to begin with. And Aiyuk just said he didn't want to go there. And apparently from what I know is that it was because he didn't want to play with Watson and he has beef with Elijah Moore. Now, I don't know where the hell beef with Brandon Aiyuk and Elijah Moore comes from. I have zero clue.
Well, when they played against each other, they had a little brawl before the game started.
I don't know where the hell this comes at beforehand. I don't know. But so you knew it was all right. So that's not the case. And first and foremost, there's one tiny part of me that is happy that Brandon Aiyuk did not get traded to Pittsburgh.
I agree.
And it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with trade compensation. It has nothing to do with that.
What is it?
The fact that it makes Andrew Filipponi look like a complete jackass of himself.
All those sources look like fools. Well, I'm just happy it's over with. Am I happy that he got signed? Yeah, I'm happy he finally got it done. Am I disappointed? Yes. Because now you really, we're really relying on George Pickens to stay healthy the whole season. To be the number one. Van Jefferson's the 2, Roman Wilson the 3.
I love now that there's so Schefter put out there that what you said that, there's tables. And of course, someone's going to quote tweet and say that's just factually inaccurate. Like, okay. There's always got to be that guy. There's always that guy. And speaking of those guys, I don't know if you saw. So yesterday, there was a video that came out of Pete Prisco from CBS.
Oh boy, this guy. The same topic every year that happens. It has to be somebody.
Well, he said that the Steelers are of course, that they're the worst team in the division.
Yep.
Of course, because we've heard that now for what feels like every year for a decade. And then had the audacity, the unmitigated gall. Let me get my inner Stephen A. Smith out of here for a second. To say, quote, that Russell Wilson is barely better than Kenny Pickett. Let me say this. Am I acting like I'm not going to act like Russell Wilson is 2015 Russell Wilson? Yep. I will not do that because he's not. But the fact that you're going to say that Russell Wilson is barely better than a guy who had 13 touchdowns in 2 years. He had 13 touchdowns. I want to say it was 13 and 13. You're meaning to tell me that Russell Wilson is barely better than a guy that had 13 touchdowns in 2 years? Is that what we're trying to do right now? Come on. And you know what? And I had this thought because, of course, it came from Broncos fans. A shit ton of Broncos fans came after my ass saying, oh, it's true. Or Kenny Pickett's better. Russell Wilson just absolutely sucks. You know what dawned upon me, too? Broncos fans have a double whammy hate of Russell Wilson. A double whammy. Not only did he played god-awful your first year, and second year, you guys didn't have much success as a team. But let's not forget, too, that same quarterback is the quarterback that whooped y'all ass. Now, whether you want to say, oh, it was the defense that did it, whatever. He was the quarterback that straight up whooped y'all ass about a decade ago in the Super Bowl. So, if we want to go with that, there's a double whammy of Broncos fans just absolutely despising Russell Wilson to no end.
Even though he played awful in Denver.
The first year, the second year, Russell Wilson went what? 26 touchdowns, 8 picks or something like that? 26 and 8.
I was going to say, he had more touchdowns than Kenny Pickett.
And let me say this, for the Steeler fans who want to agree with this, you're either, number one, you either still have Kenny Pickett's dick and balls in your mouth, for one, or number two, you literally just don't have any IQ. Because you mean to tell me that Kenny Pickett is a better quarterback? The moment you say that, I assume you have applesauce for brains.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that's the day that on this day, we need to send you to your local nursing home because apparently you have either dementia, you have some sort of you're losing it up top.
Yep.
If you want to say barely better or that Kenny Pickett is better than Russell Wilson, stop it.
Did you see him in the preseason? How did Kenny do in the preseason this year?
I actually do not have a clue.
Well, I'll tell you, not good.
So Russell Wilson had 3,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, 8 picks. So I listen.
Listen, they hate that. Listen, we'll see what happens. Whatever. Russell's better. I'm happy we have Russell. Like I said, we said this for the past going on 3 years now. If we just get average quarterback play.
Yeah. I'm glad because I lost my train of thought for a second. I'm glad you brought me right back to this. You mean to tell me that you, a Steeler fan, not talking about you, Jarryd, because I know you actually have common sense here. For you, the Steeler fan who wants to say that Kenny Pickett is better than Russell Wilson, you mean to tell me that you would have rather had that be your like? You talk about, if we're talking at that pace, it's going to take almost a full entire rookie contract for Russell or for Kenny Pickett to get 26 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
It would take literally 4 years at his pace. But you mean to tell me that being in the bottom 20s and just being god awful and being a laughing stock. Now, we have to admit, yes, not 100% of it is on Kenny. It was not. It also didn't help that we had an absolute incompetent, bald fool in Matt Country up north.
Yeah.
But
it takes two to tango, 50-50. That's how it is. Anyways, moving on from Kenny Pickett, because he's not my quarterback. I can care less what he does. He's going to be sitting on the bench in Philadelphia. Enjoy that. Thank you.
Like, let's be honest here. Kenny Pickett couldn't read a Dr. Seuss book, let alone read an NFL defense.
Yeah.
I put this out there. I said, Kenny Pickett's quarterback ability in the National Football League is the equivalent to me going on a diet.
Yeah. And he said that. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm just being honest here.
Oh, anyways, this is insane. But anyways, I'm just happy we got Russell. He's gonna start as expected. Excited to see what the offense does next Sunday against the Falcons, 1 p.m. I think it's on Fox.
Thank God. Shout out to Fox. I checked my local guy today because I am not one of those people that bought NFL Sunday ticket. So, but luckily week 1 is being shown here in Cleveland, in the Cleveland market where I am at. So I do not have to go anywhere. So
that's good.
Thank you, Lord, there for that. So I could stay home and drink.
Not go out.
Yeah, I don't have to go out. Now I might go to one of my buddies to watch hopefully the Cowboys. It'll be the one time where I'm rooting for the Cowboys.
Oh God.
Actually, it'll be 3 times this year. Anytime against the North. Other than that, that's the Cowboys. But for that time, I'll be wearing the biggest goddamn star in the world. I'll look like Patrick Starr out there.
Oh man, shout out to CD finally getting his contract. Shout out.
Yeah,
to
so both big time wide receivers, they got their contracts, and so yeah,
so that's over. The question. Go ahead.
No. Actually, go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say
because we're getting to that point of week one. It's just a lot of still a lot of questions. A lot of questions I have. The offensive line is my number one priority right now.
Well, here's my thing. We'll get to the we'll get to the offensive line here in a sec. I want to stay on this wide receiver topic because if you were the Steelers, if you're Omar Khan, there's no longer a big time weapon option out there. So, are you really going to roll out George Pickens, Van Jefferson, Scotty Miller, Calvin Austin,
and Roman Wilson?
Is that what you want to roll out there?
I think he really is.
I mean, Noah Brown, he's no longer available even either.
Tim Patrick's not available either. I wanted one of the other two.
So the only other name that I could really think of now that we've all mentioned, well, not on this show, but Steelers fans have mentioned, the only our name that could potentially be any type of needle mover, and I don't know how much of a needle mover he is John Mechie. And he's not a huge needle mover if he is at all. So we're at this point where not getting Brandon Aiyuk becomes a huge loss. It is a huge issue because we're at the point where so you're gonna have George Pickens, more likely Van Jefferson on the outside, and then you'll have Roman Wilson in the slot. Make sure, with some sort of Calvin Austin in there as well. If not even talking about George Pickens, because obviously if any team loses a wide receiver one, for the most part, they're fucked. So, but it feels like if we even lose a Van Jefferson, or if we were to lose again a Roman Wilson or something like that, good Lord.
Well, they did add one person to the practice squad named Brandon Johnson as a wide receiver. That's the next one they have up from the practice squad. Do you want to hear some of the free agent wide receivers that are left out there?
Oh, Lord. You're literally giving me to the point where I feel like Stephen A. Smith after the Brooklyn Nets signed Katie and Kyrie, and Rachel Nichols goes, starts naming off names, and it's like, why do you hate me right now? Please, I need to hear any name that none of them are going to be needle movers. Please name off all the non-needle movers at this point.
Michael Thomas, Hunter Renfrow.
I'll say Slant Boy can't stay healthy. Hunter Renfrow, his hairline is going so far back.
Corey Davis. Julio Jones.
Oh, 99.5-year-old Julio Jones. Got it.
Randall Cobb. Richie James. Marquez Callaway. Chase Claypool. Oh, no, he's not. He's on the IR. James Washington. Jakeem Grant. Willie Snead. Russell Gage. And that's the only names we're not getting Quez Watkins, I'll tell you that much. That guy could stay off the street. And Jalen Rager's probably the one other recommend name out there.
Who? I mean, yes, I do know the names. Don't get me wrong. I'm not stupid here, but it's like I mentioned, non-needle movers.
Yep, non-needle. Well, I think like we talked about earlier, definitely definitely John Mechie. I would definitely like to see what they will do.
Yeah. And then we get to the other issues.
Yep.
Now, when it comes to the offensive line, so Isaac Seumalo had a pec injury. And did they say officially like what the timetable?
They're saying it's not a season-ending injury.
Right. So thank God. But when you hear immediately when you think it's not a season-ending, well, clearly it's something to the point where he's not going to be out there week 1.
Nope.
He's not going to play week 1.
4 to 8 weeks.
Okay, so there you go. So he's more likely going to IR.
Mm-hmm.
So you more likely not have him for the first 4.
Mm-hmm.
You also have Broderick Jones, who is still banged up. Troy Fautanu, he's still banged up. And now let's be honest here. The Steelers have gotten very, very, very lucky when it comes to Steeler offensive line health over the last couple of years.
Yep. Very grateful.
Very grateful. They've been very lucky. And now the fact that 60% of your offensive line is banged up, that's a huge yikes. Now the question becomes, who are you starting at that left guard spot?
It's going to be Spencer Anderson.
Are you sure about that?
He played most of the left guard during the preseason spots over Mason McCormick. That's yeah,
but Mason McCormick did really look good out there in the preseason.
He did look good he played right guard, but he did look good out there. I am fine with either one, but I think they're going to give it to Spencer Anderson.
I would prefer to want to see McCormick out there.
Of course, I totally 100% agree. But Spencer Anderson didn't do bad as well.
Now I would say that a potential concern would be, quote unquote, if you did want to have 2 rookies in the interior on that offensive line right next to each other. Mm-hmm. Maybe I could understand that, but other than that,
I would like I said, I would love to have Mason McCormick. I prefer him probably over Spencer Anderson, but he played more on the left. Is what it is. And he looked better. I don't say he looked better. He looked all right, not bad. You already know who's starting week 1 on the O-line, mostly. Just the left guard position. It's going to be Dan Moore on the left side. As much as people are going to hate it, it's going to be Dan Moore unless Fatanu's healthy, which we don't know.
Okay.
Center's going to be Frazier, James Daniels, Broderick Jones.
So I have some we have a new developing agenda we are going to push.
Oh, boy.
Brandon Aiyuk is gone.
Oh, I already know where the agenda is. I've already seen it. It's not going to happen until the trade deadline if you really think that's going to happen.
And let's just say in this scenario, I'm seeing this player regardless. Whether he's in the black, silver and black, silver, whatever the fuck they call it out there in Las Vegas, or the black and gold. Devontae Adams come home, baby.
Well, I wasn't thinking of that.
Who are you thinking of?
I saw people talking about DK Metcalf from the Seattle.
Oh no, I never saw that. Devontae Adams, I know your ass don't like it out there. You got Gardner Minshew as your quarterback. Oh, good lord! You might Zen boy himself. Nope, you don't want to deal with that. Just come on this way.
That's another name. We'll see.
We're officially pushing the Devontae Adams to Pittsburgh agenda.
Oh God. I just want these agendas to end. That's all I want. I hate them.
Oh, speaking of other things that I want to call out Steeler fans for.
Oh boy.
So Tuesday was the day that the rosters had to be cut down from 90 to 53.
Yep.
Now I'm in a group chat with a Twitter group chat. You're not a part of this one. With some other Steeler fans. I swear on everything I love, if I heard or saw, it feels like every single player that was waived, released, terminated contract. Oh, the Steelers should bring him in. The Steelers should bring him in. If it was up to Steeler fans, our roster would be cutting absolutely everyone. We would have a 53 new man roster of nothing but waiver guys and stuff like that, because it felt like it was every half second. I saw someone say Caleb Farley should come to Pittsburgh, and I'm like, bro, I'm pretty sure I've played more football in the National Football League than he has. And the dude's been in the league for what, 3 years already? The dude can't stay healthy to save his life. They're just naming off every person known to man. I'm like, bro, stop.
Oh man, yeah, I bet that was fun. A lot of names coming off. Like I said, the only names that I was really disappointed of that the Steelers, I wish they would have like gone through the waiver wire and like snag one, is Tim Patrick and Noah Brown. Those are the two names I would love to see if the Steelers grab and put them on the wide receiver room. Other than that, I can care less of. Like I said, Caleb Farley. Do I want him? No. Well, like you said,
No.
Like you said, he can't stay healthy. It's unfortunate. He's a bust. First round pick, and he's a bust. It's unfortunate, and that does happen. But we can't sign everybody. Can't sign everybody. Definitely can't do that.
According to Steelers fans, that's exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to sign every single person that came on that damn waiver wire. Like, good God.
So my question is now, I know with the offensive line being banged up, you don't have Dylan Cook. He's on IR. Like I said, you're going out there with Dan Morris, Frazier, Daniels, Broderick Jones, and then you got McCormick, Spencer Anderson, and Ryan McCollum. You got 3 backups, basically.
Well, you know what, though? Here's the thing, though. When it comes to offensive line, there's this notion of having really good, quote-unquote, offensive line depth is almost a myth.
Yeah, for sure.
In the NFL, because you're going to play your best 5 guys.
Yep.
And then the only time you get any quote-unquote depth is, and I hate that I'm using this example, but I'll do it because it fits exactly what I'm trying to say. Cleveland last year, you had Jack Conklin. They had one of the better offensive lines in football. Jack Conklin gets hurt in that week 1 game against Cincinnati. DeJuan Jones comes in. He plays pretty damn well. So now they have a situation where they have those guys where, okay, yes, you have someone who, regardless whether they're going to play, I don't know their situation. I don't know if Jack Conklin's healthy enough to play. I don't know if that's the case, I don't know if he's playing or if it's going to be DeJuan Jones, one of those. But if you get a situation like that, that's a little bit different. But that's also, pure, kind of luck, kind of whatever. But for the most part, having quote unquote offensive line depth is almost a myth.
It is. I just want to know, let's say, God forbid, Zach Frazier gets hurt. Who's the center? And
that is a question of what the hell are you going to do? Because your other guy at center that you were going to play, Nate Herbig, he's gone for the year. So it makes you wonder, will they actually go out? I guess there was the old center from Washington. I believe he got waived.
Yep, I know.
I don't know if someone picked him up. If not, that would be a potential guy that would be interesting. Or if he did get picked up, well then, fuck God.
Because I've heard, can James Daniels play center?
Yeah, he definitely can. He definitely can. So I think that's the situation where if the center were to go down, I think James Daniels would come in, and then you would just have in that case it would probably be McCormick or whatever. So that's probably what would end up happening.
Interesting. That's my one question. I was just curious about. Like I said, you have one center, like true center, basically, for the year right now. I usually carry 2 just in case.
Right.
But now I have Herbig for the year. Basically, it's just a little bit worrisome. Just like as a little bit worrisome for the wide receiver room as well. They only have only George Pickens as the top dog, and he's going to be doubled every game for the rest of this. For the whole season. Not every play they can double him, but it's a little scary. Hopefully hopefully Jalen Warren can play week 1. Hopefully he's able to play, and I'm hoping people that are banged up can play week 1 or be ready. That's the goal.
I'm going to go on one more tiny tangent.
Go for it.
I don't remember if I've said this before on here, and if I have, I'm saying it again. And if I have it, well, then here you go. The way that they're handling Broderick Jones pisses me off to no end.
You definitely said this, but I
okay.
Go ahead.
Well, you know what? If you're a new viewer, you're hearing it again. God damn it. I've been an advocate of position flexibility, someone that can play multiple positions. But the way that they're handling Broderick Jones pisses me off to no end, considering that he's supposed to be one of your focal points of the offensive line. He's supposed to be a young guy that's supposed to come in and be a beast for you. And now, let's not forget, he already came out of Georgia a little bit raw. Needed a little bit of development. The way that they're handling his development pisses me off to no end, because there's no way that you should be bouncing him around like a pinball machine. No shit, he's not going to be that great if he can't learn, really focus on one side because he keep bouncing him around. You start him out on the left side. Okay, well then later on down the road, you cut or you bench Chooks, put him on the right side, and then you let him play right side, and then you just keep on having him bounce around left or right side. It's like, when is he going to truly be able to develop and play a natural position, or a position that he could play more than, a couple snaps without getting bounced around like a groupie hoe?
Yeah, if we're with his development, he needs to stay on the right tackle side. Dan Moore's going to play left tackle week 1. Please don't be shocked if you guys are not, if you're seeing.
Well, no, I think definitely he would play week 1 if Fatanu, is still a little bit banged up or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Or if he is good to go. I think Dan Moore still starts. Personally. We've seen this before.
I know. We're all still going to be frustrated as fuck.
Yep. Like I told my dad literally on the phone on the way back home from work, don't be surprised to see Dan Moore on the side. He's like, I know. Every time he gets a flag, I just yell at the TV. And I throw something at the TV.
Also, by the way, shout out Papa Sanchez, by the way.
But if Troy Fautanu, even it's still good to go, it's going to be Dan Moore. It's going to be Dan Moore. Broderick just stay on the right side if this is the way it's going. If you're going to keep Dan Moore there, start him, let Broderick Jones stay on the right side. Let him develop as a right tackle. And then put Troy Fautanu as the left tackle for Dan Moore if he does not pan out well. Or does not do well, which in a matter of time, he's not going to do well personally.
The one thing, too, that's annoying about this is the way with what I've just described with Broderick Jones, to keep on bouncing him around. It feels like it's the way that fans think, oh, just move him to the other side like this is Madden, because it's like in Madden, it's like, okay, we'll just kick him over to the right side. We'll just kick him to the left tackle. Whatever, no big deal. People don't realize how hard that is to transition over.
It's two different positions. Your movement, the way how you step, the way you set, it's a little bit different than.
No, with what I'm about to say, I get it. It was only high school football. I get it, but I remember in a scrimmage that we did, I was always a left guard, and they would have me move, they moved me over to right guard too, just to have it. And that was a hard transition. Everything just felt off. And it's a hard thing to do, to bounce around and to play, just move over. It's way easier said than done.
Yeah, definitely with your hand placement's probably a little bit different. While your tech, it's just a little bit, everything's different. It's not the same. And you're going to be better on one side than the other. 100% certain. So if we're going to leave Broderick Jones on the right tackle, let him stay as the right tackle. Please, for the love of God. Or I have another interesting take here. If Fatano's still good to go, doesn't he have position flexibility to be a left guard? Doesn't he play guard as well?
Yeah, but
not really. Okay, then keep him as a backup for the tackle. I get it. No, 100%.
It's not going to happen, but I just want to put a thought into your head.
Oh, boy.
Just for shits and giggles.
Mm-hmm.
You know how bad Dan Moore is right now?
Oh, boy.
Imagine putting him on the right side.
Oh, God.
I'm pretty sure you could beat him in a pass rush.
Don't just, at least he was somewhat decent early on as a left tackle, or like average player as a tackle. Like Dan Moore, Dan Moore's an average player. He's not I'm trying to be nice here. Average to bad player here. Good as a backup to have, at least, I guess. He's been on the Steelers. That's all that matters. But like I said, we don't have a lot of options here at the backup tackle position. Right now it's just Fontano. Dylan Cook's not there. He's on the IR for a little bit. But that's your backup tackle right now.
I feel like we're cooked.
Listen, they say this every year that we're cooked, is how I call it. Until the season starts and see how things go, everyone says, oh, the Steelers are going to finish it last. Oh, the Steelers aren't going to make the playoffs. Oh, the Steelers are bad. Oh, Russell Wilson shouldn't be starting. Oh, it should be Justin Fields. Listen. And some people act surprised that Russell Wilson was the starter. Well, I wasn't surprised. Most of us weren't surprised. I don't get it how some of the media was surprised that Russell Wilson was the starter.
It was clickbait, rage bait.
Of course. But as the Steelers, we'll talk about it next week, how I think the Steelers will do against week 1. But as of now, for the whole season, the Steelers are going to have some drinks with you. It's going to be a little rough ride.
Luckily for me, I've been used to drinking a lot on Sundays, but I've been doing it on a golf course.
Yeah. But listen, the defense, I am not too much really worried about. I think everyone can be, a little stress-free on the defense. If you have questions about the defense, it would be the corner position, and the linebackers. That's how I see it. Because the corners are young. You got JPJ, Corey Trice, Beanie Bishop. It's going to be the starting nickel corner. I like to see how he plays against, the nickel's different. It's a whole new guy. It's not going to be Cam Sutton, guys. Cam Sutton's gone for 10 weeks. Nice suspended. Hopefully, Beanie Bishop steps up. Like I said, the defense, we're going to be okay. I think we'll be fine. We'll be okay. Offense, it's going to be a ride.
Steeler country. Let's ride.
Let's ride. And I'm excited to see Nick Herbig play on Sunday. I am really and Peyton Wilson as the rotating linebackers. I can't wait to see them fly over the field.
And it's going to be curious to see how DeMarvin Leal continues to develop as he's transitioning into that more of that outside backer guy. So he's more of that fourth guy.
Mm-hmm. It's very exciting. I'm excited about this defense. They kept a lot on the defense, especially the defense line. Dean Lowry, I didn't expect him to make the team. I thought he was going to be the one outside guy. Not Dean Lowry. Logan Lee was the guy. They kept a lot of D linemen pretty much. I didn't expect them to keep that many.
Oh, I think that might be about it.
I am. I'm ready for college football this weekend to watch. I've been watching some of it now. You got North Dakota playing Colorado. My UCF Knights playing against New Hampshire, which they're doing just fine. I know you're Ohio State. Will they play tomorrow or Saturday?
Saturday.
So they play Saturday. I know that. They play probably a really easy team.
Akron.
Akron. Akron. Wow. That's a scary team.
What's going to be funny is I can't wait for. I'll be in Vegas the day that Ohio State plays Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a time. That's a weekend to be on Vegas. Is that day?
But
Which, by the way, got my ticket officially into my phone, in my Apple Wallet, so that we are getting closer and closer. We are 41 days, 17 hours, 25 minutes, and 14 seconds till my plane goes into the air.
So 48 days for me, because I leave the following week after that.
But other than that, I do want to say I think that's about it for this episode. I do want to say thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys did enjoy. And if you guys did, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment. Make sure to go and follow me on Twitter there at Jeff_Kirby412. Go and follow Jarryd over there,
Yep.
Boss_Sanchez98. As I continue to get ridiculed by Broncos fans saying that Kenny Pickett is better than Russell Wilson. Yes, that is actually a thing. And one of my tweets that I put out there yesterday too, saying, did you see the one where I put at some point you've got to play Brandon Aiyuk, and it's the kid that's just like a bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly we've seen how that's gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I think that's about it. Again, like, comment, subscribe, go follow us.
Subscribe.
Subscribe, and until then, next week
We'll talk about week 1 preview.
Mm-hmm.
Week 1 preview, we'll have our answers. We'll have answers of who's going to play most likely.
Ooh, I can't wait. But till then, great weekend. Fuck the Yankees. Fuck UCF. Fuck the Magic. And fuck the North. Goodbye, everyone.